Welcome back, everybody. Sorry it's been a while. Please accept our apologies. We've been a little bit slow, been dragging our heels on the YouTube media stuff. We've been videoing everything along the way and documenting it. However, just because of hitting deadlines, scheduling and tendering for new projects, we haven't actually had the chance to get everything together for you and present it. But yeah, it's coming now anyway. The video you're about to see is probably where the company was 4 or 5 months ago. So obviously projects have moved on considerably, but what we've got another episode waiting in the wings, which we are going to drop in about a week's time. So that should catch you up to date. Yeah, so enjoy the show and we'll catch you all soon. Okay, so I'm at the Fabricators and just checking out the spiral staircase now. It's all been put together and it looks really, really smart. See, we've got the central column there that the treads are supported off, spiraling up to the balcony section, which will be by the main bedroom double doors. Perforated treads, so they don't become dangerous and slippy in bad weather. Beautiful handrail here. It's about to get off now to the galvanisers. Really happy with how this is looking at the moment. Fabricators done a fantastic job. All the welds are really clean, really nice. Treads look phenomenal. The curve on the handrail is perfect. Yeah, looking forward to getting this on site soon. Arnie carrying on with his labour of love. Gonna give him a quick interview. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good night.
Living the dream?
Living the dream.
My man, well done. How you getting on at Skittles recently?
Top of the league, mate.
Top of the league?
Top of the league, yeah.
Oh, man. What do you like to hear? You'll have this finished by Friday morning, I expect, don't you? Well done, mate. Little update with how it's going at the passive house. So you can see at the moment the front of the house, it's had its base coat of render on, and the renders are due to start next week, putting the primer and top coat on. Hopefully that'll take about a week's process. It's been a bit of a hold up on it because we had all that really, really cold weather at the start of December, which you can't put render on when it's freezing. And then we had some wet weather as well at the beginning of January, so we're a little bit behind on the render. But as soon as that's on, scaffold's due to come down, which will be a great point to get to. We're going at the groundwork on the outside. You can see all the type 1 that's being spread down to the perimeter of the house here. This will be paved sidewalk to the house leading out to the terrace. Let's go and take a look. Finally got the top coat of render going on, starting today. The guys are starting off the silicon thin coat, it's called, for the K-rend. They're starting off on this eaves section, and then they're going to move round to the front elevation gable this afternoon. Ash is spreading it on the right hand side of the screen there, and Bryn's following up behind, troweling up. So yeah, it's looking really neat, really crisp finish with this K-rend. And by the end of the week this should all be done and we'll be ready for the scaffolds to come down. Excellent stuff. Okay, so around the back of the house, you can see this block wall here. Quite a big area the terrace is going to make, and this is going to be a tiled area with the balcony out here as well, so the steels are all on order, and you can see the ply shuttering in there. This is where the steel posts will be going. I'm glad to say the render is finally going on after the weather hold-ups we've had over the last few months. There's a bit of a process in between base coat going on the top coat. This is a K-Rend product, silicon top coat 15, and it's pearl colour. The clients have chosen a pearl, which is going to look really nice when the scaffold comes down against the window rail, which is 8019, I think. But yeah, inside we've got the second fix electrical work is almost complete. The utilities in the kitchen behind me are all up and running. Got the hob, extractor, all those bits and pieces on. MVHR second fixing is complete, and we've had a little chat with Mark from Therm about what MVHR actually is, which is great. The groundwork is continuing out the front. The guys are laying some curbs at the moment, ready for the stone drive to come in. General internal snagging work continues, final bits of paint and touch-ups. Plumber's also been today as well, and he's done the last of the ceiling around the bath units and the vanity unit. So yeah, really good push on today and the rest of this week, and it's all coming together. So really looking forward now. The next big thing is to get this scaffold down and see what it looks like without the scaffold there. So yeah, the fonds.
Okay, so plenty going on outside as well now. Obviously the scaffold's dropped, the render's looking fantastic. All the hard work we've been doing over the past year, you sort of see it in all its glory when the scaffold's dropped, so really pleased with that. Some of the outside guys have been post-creting these posts into the ground the last couple of days. There is a covered walkway in the front of the house with some nice trellising. So the guys over my shoulder here, the chippies now, they're constructing a 4x2 joist framework. I'll put some furring strips on and some 18mm plywood, and then we've got an MVHR, which is like a single ply membrane to cover the roof. So yeah, loads going on outside as well, pushing towards completion for the end of March.
Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
So we've been waiting for the scaffold to come down, obviously, for a while. Come down the other week. Now it's down. The rest of the terraced area has been infilled with type 1 and compacted, which means that we had a little access road through here with a digger to get all the stone in. So now we've got that in. Arnie is infilling the 4-inch blocks laid flat, and that will complete the whole terraced area. And in the next week or two, maybe, we're going to start laying the mandarin stone in this area. Keep tuned. Generally, all our projects, we leave the specification of the kitchen up to the client, so you choose what you want, and we'll organise the first, second fix and the install if need be. On this occasion, this kitchen is supplied by Classic Interiors, and they've done the install as well themselves. It's really nice kitchen the clients have chosen. They've gone for this, I think it's called like a gunmetal colour panel. This sort of, steel, sorry. I think it's called textured steel, something like that. And they've gone for thin granite worktops with a little bit of a texture on them. Big kitchen, it looks great. There's some really nice features. They've got a hot tap, they've got a pop-up socket. So yeah, the guys did a great job installing this. So obviously we are getting towards the end of this project now, and with a large project such as this, it's important to keep on top of all little bits and pieces that need completing along the way. So with my other focus slowly being turned towards upcoming projects and all the prerequisites I've got to do for those, it's good to have, I think it's good to have a sort of list in common with the guys that are on site all the time, so there's constant reminder of work. So we've also got our heads together this morning, and we've gone through some of the internal snags that still aren't quite complete, some of the external work that is ongoing outside, and at the top corner here I've done a separate section for
the LE guys that come in. So sort of type of an action plan. The guys can refer to this back and forth over the next few days, and we're all on the same page with jobs again ticked off the list and nearing ever that practical completion stage. Okay, so plant room update at the passive house construction. Over my shoulder there is the MVHR unit that is all in a second fix. We're just waiting for that to be commissioned now. MGS are here currently working on a few areas of the services. Domestic hot water cylinder here has been installed behind me. You see it's laid down, it's horizontal. Traditionally you see them standing up in like an airing cupboard, but this use of eave space here lays itself to a horizontal 300 litre tank, so that's really good. Like I said, that's been in for a long time there. We've got the underfloor heating manifold, so it's all coming together quite well in here. I'm going to take you up into the attic as well to show you the battery storage. It's a really cool attic. Let's take a look. Okay, so up in the loft space now, I'll show you around. It's huge, loads of space for storage up here. In all honesty, you could probably have like a little hideaway man cave, something up here. Take a look around, it's massive. You can see there's essentially 1, 2, 3 bays in this direction of the building, and then there's a bonus space over the bathrooms there as well. Finish up here, you can just see, if you remember back to the Intello membrane we put on, this is the air tightness, so that carries on all the way up to the loft as well. So if we have a little walk down, we have 1, 2, 3 battery storage devices installed here, and the solar panels are on the south facing roof just over our heads on the right hand side. So yeah, a real neat tidy job, plenty of battery storage there for the clients. And what we're actually doing on this property, something we discussed a few months back and we got into place, was down by the mains incoming electric feed to the house, we've got a changeover switch. Now what that's going to do is that's going to give the clients the capacity to change from mains power to battery power in a power outage, a mains outage. So obviously there's a little extra there, but what that means is, should there be a power cut in the local area, the clients will be able to go outside, manually change over how their house is fed, and it'll be those batteries down there, the stored power, that will be serving their house during the shortage. So yeah, really cool attic space, and functioning batteries down there is cool. So building project, you do always come across small problems, issues that you weren't expecting that have arisen from some unknown reason, and part of your job is dealing with that. So I'm at the passive build now, and I'm up in the light well, and this is a passive standard Velux window. It's triple glazed and it's all sealed in. The problem is there's a problem with the opening mechanism. Now there's a solar panel just up there on the roof, which is all connected to the window. Problem is the opening mechanism, the chain, isn't being released when we press the button and follow the instructions. So I'm going to check all the connections now, see if we can get it working. If not, I'm going to get on the phone to the Velux support team and see what the course of action will be. Keep you updated. Okay, so I got in touch with Velux this morning's technical support team. They gave me some troubleshooting tips to try, all of which I've done, and none were successful. So I've just been back on the phone with the Velux support team, and we've organised a technician to come to site because they are happy with all the photographs of the installation and how the wiring should be plugged together. So there's obviously a manufacturer error somewhere. Technician will get hold of me and an arrange appointment to come to site and fix the window. So yeah, hopefully that's the next step in getting that small problem resolved. Update on the Velux window, all sorted. Technician came out, sorted it within 10-15 minutes, all good. So another example of a bit of problem solving. This floor was laid a while ago, but when we went round and snagged, we had
a small discrepancy just in this corner here. The tile wasn't perfectly flush. Now with it being in the hallway, a high traffic area, we weren't happy with that. So yesterday I cut this tile up and I cut the new one just there, ready to go in. So the floor's been primed and we're going to mix up some adhesive and replace it now. Okay, so tiles back in, replaced. Where we had a lip there, now we've got it perfectly flush. So yeah, happy.
Right, so the steel balcony and brise-soleil structure is now up behind me here on the terrace that we've created at the passive build. Yesterday we started infilling the bit behind me with 6-inch timbers, and that is going to be a balcony section for one of the master bedrooms upstairs. There's no warm roof insulation detail on here. It's simply going to be ply and EPDM roof, and the underside is going to be rendered. So we're trying to get all those layers in this week, so the roofers can come and do the top, and the renderers can render on the underside at the start of next week. So yeah, like I said, timbers on yesterday, all hung and cut into the steelwork. We've got furring strips to do next and the plywood, so we'll take a look at that as we go. Okay, so on top of the joists, we have to cut a furring strip, which is a wedge section of timber, minimum of a 1 in 80 fall across the length, and that will allow the rainwater to run off to our drainage at the front of the balcony. So I'll mark out and cut some furring strips now at a 1 in 80 minimum fall.
Okay, so all our furring strips are now on. I'll just go down level here. You can see the wedges nailed across the joists. Furring strips are on, and the next phase after this will be the plywood. Got some pretty wet here. We've had a soaking already. Look at the forecast. It's only going to be worse this afternoon. I don't really want to get the ply wet because I don't want it to any chance of delaminate under the EPDM. So we're going to head back to HQ and we're going to actually fabricate the concealed gutter out of plywood in the dry in the yard, and then we can bring it in tomorrow when it's dry and get all the plywood on, get it covered up, ready for you. So that bit of ply on the outside there looks like a box. It's actually the concealed gutter, so the rainwater off the balcony up there will come into the trough, and then we're going to have an outlet here by this post. Right, so as you can see, all the decks down now for the balcony. Behind me now these are the doors to the master bedroom, so it'll be a lovely little feature to come out to. Like I said, plywood's down, concealed gutters in, as you just saw there, everything's screwed up, and we're ready for the rubber to come and be put on now next week. So all in all, we're in a couple of days out on this. It's looking good. Right, so we're on site at our passive house now with Mark from RF Trading, and he has installed the MVHR and the underfloor heating from us. Those of you who don't know what MVHR is, Mark is going to give us a layman's terms explanation of it, what it does, how it works. Over to you.
Right then, MVHR, basic in layman's terms, it continuously changes the air within the house with fresh air, and the stale air from the damp rooms is continuously extracted. So we're not losing heat throughout the building by opening windows, etc. And basically, because passive houses are basically like a Tupperware box, an airtight Tupperware box, you've got to have that air change happening. That's the basic line of that one. This is the unit we use. This is a passive house certified unit, and for the size of the house we've got to have continuously 78 litres of air a second going in.
A second, really?
Every second.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so every second you've got 78 litres of air coming in on this one,
Yeah.
and it's going out on that one,
Okay.
continuously, 24/7.
So obviously I was here when you were doing some of the first fix, and these ducts, they go to every room in the house?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, and is there 2 or 1? How does it...
It just depended on the amount of airflow we required in each room, as to the number of ducts we had going to each room.
Okay.
And it also depended on the distance to the run to get to the room. Like, for example, the longest run in this house is actually going to the main bedroom. That's the
one
furthest
over
run.
there?
Yeah, that's the furthest run. So that one we needed to have 2 ducts to it.
Okay.
Just because the amount of air, the friction within the pipe run, to allow us to have the airflow without noise.
Okay.
Down here, this is a heat exchanger, which is fed from the air source heat pump, which another company has installed. And basically, what we can do with this is, in the winter months, with the pump running from the buffer tank, it actually gives it a bit of extra warmth going to the supply room. So rather than the heat recovery system can catch about 90 to 95% of the energy which would have been going straight to outside.
Okay.
So in other words, if it was sucking out at about 21 degrees from the wet rooms, it would have been dumping back in about 19 degrees. But with this loop, the pump activated, heating through the system, we can be putting back into the rooms 23 to 25 degrees. So we're actually putting warm air into those rooms.
Okay.
And vice versa to that, in the summer months, once the heat pump is put into cooling mode, it's cooling the buffer tank down to about 10 degrees. We're actually cooling the air going into the room. So if it's 25 degrees outside, we're going to be putting into those rooms about 15 degree air. So we're actually going to be providing cool air into those rooms.
So not only are we recycling the air and making sure it's all fresh and new, you can control the temperature with this unit as well.
Yes.
So it's like a super efficient, he's got a really good system here, hasn't he?
And also we're filtering it as well. So inside here, you've got 2 sets of filters.
Yeah.
That's to catch the debris from outside so you don't get flies coming in.
Yeah.
And that's just to stop dust and debris from within the house going into the heat exchanger, to keep the heat exchanger core nice and clean.
Amazing. I've learned some stuff there as well, so that's been really beneficial. Okay, so that's mechanical ventilation, heat recovery.
Yeah.
We'll have a quick look in the rooms to see what the tops look like, and then, magic. Thank you, mate. Cheers, Mark. Okay, so we're in bedroom number 2 now. This is, ironically, even though this is quite close to the plant room, this is the one that has the furthest run.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain to us about what that is there.
That is a supply valve. That is a Airy B style valve, which we use quite often. And we like them because they're just nice and simple.
Okay.
They don't look like the ones in the...
No, they don't look hideous, they look quite nice, don't they?
Yeah, the Mosby service station toilets, the horrible mushrooms.
Yeah,
I
okay.
despise those things.
Okay.
This is actually the furthest run from the plant room, which is ironically 10 foot away. But because of that distance, we've doubled up the pipe runs to it, so we can keep the volume of air going through it nicely.
And do you hear the air coming through or anything?
No,
Or disperse
if you can hear the air, I've made a mistake.
Okay. Because obviously you can just hear the unit ticking over in the plant room.
Yeah.
But it's on now. I can't.
Yeah. Once the doors close in the plant room, we won't hear that at all.
I can't hear any.
No, we've got silencers in line. So, and if you can hear it, then I've done something wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks for coming and taking the time to explain to us today. Just had a handover with the clients. Mark's explained how the MVHR works to them because they're effectively taking hold of the property on Friday. So really good job, really happy, and we've got you booked in for the next one, which is the timber frames currently going up in town. So
brilliant,
all good. See the cameras pointing that way? Me just filming everything that way. That's how they work. Concrete day at the new passive house construction in town centre. So tight urban plot. So we are bringing the concrete down. I can see it coming down the lane behind me now. I might have to move in a second. It's coming down in dumper. Guys made a chute to try and get it across the pad, because obviously you can't drive a dumper across the wet concrete. 2 lots of A393 reinforcing mesh in there, top and bottom, and then once it's all in and tamped down to the site level that's on the go over there, we trowel it out smooth with the float. So I'll get some nice shots of the concrete pad going in now. Okay, so the concrete pad is down, gone off over the weekend, and we've had the delivery of the I-beams, which is a structure makeup of the wall here on our single-story passive house. So the guys have been setting out the sole plates this morning. So the guys would have gone around this morning measuring the perimeter of the building, and then they would have made a cutting list for the sole plates, which is what they're cutting now.
You can listen to ad-free if you try our new Magic Premium service. It is magic.
One of those sole plates.
Everything you love about Magic.
Gets the damp-proof core. Stay put to the underside. For protection against the concrete.
For the first 30 days
and
as a
fix
trial,
that
so get
perimeter of
yourself
the
to the App
concrete
Store.
pad. Setting the concrete pad obviously out all the clearances. So in front of me here is the breakfast kitchen island. We've got waste requirements in there for the sink, and we've got some ducts for the power and the water supply to be pulled through. Similarly, over there on one of the sole plates, we have the mains incoming water supply, more ducts for electric services. So what Ali's got here is we've got sole plate plan and joinery schedule.
Correct.
Yeah, so going around marking all the apertures, I assume, on the sole plates.
Correct.
That is a joinery schedule. That tells exactly the dimensions of all the doors and windows in here. So when they lay all these out on the sole plates, they know where the studs and cripples need to be fixed to. So I thought I'd do a little run through now whilst we're just clearing the snow from the ground. So all the walls are up on our passive house. So I'm stood currently in the kitchen. These are the great big glue lambs. That is going to be the ridge for the ceiling. Got to put them up there. All the internal walls are up now. So this is a flat roof section here. There's going to be a nice Velux window along here. So these are the bedrooms and the bathrooms. Still got a couple of glue lamps to put up. You can see we're flying. We've only been framing for 6 days. So really pleased with the progress at the moment. These are the glue lambs. So these two here, there's two here, will be sat on this wall. And we go right across here, all the way here. And then I'm going to put a lintel across there, and it's going to be hanged into that. That's going to be for the one pitch of the roof. There's 3 pitches, which means there's 3 different angles on this roof. So there's 3 roofs basically, and a flat pitch within this one big building. These are the glue lambs. So these are spread all over the house, and these are the points where the roof will be sitting on. So it's a low bearing point. So let me show you what we've done. So again, these are a 300 wide wall, so massive insulation in there. That's the point of a passive house. And then we've got the wood fibre boards that goes on the external. That stops any cold bridging from the outside. And then internally then we put the Intello membrane, which makes it the air tightness. And then we can put our service battens and plasterboard or marine ply or anything like that the client wants as a finish. So we can see the pitch roof above us here, which is sheathed from underneath with the sterling board, and then where we come across to these flat roof joists, warm roof build-up is on there, ply and the EPDM and all the membranes already, and there's a nice little roof light detail that you can see has already had the air tightness tape taped to it on the inside. Okay, so the guys have been hard at it at the urban passive build. We finally got a nice bit of sun, finally in the middle of April, which is nice. The guys have been working a lot on the roof. Some of the roof coverings are already actually on. The flat roof, the warm roof just up here over my left-hand shoulder, the EPDM is on, and the gully is currently getting the roof covering on it as well. All the profiled tin is on order, along with the flashings and ridges, bits and pieces. So what the guys are doing, they're finishing off the last of the sheathing on the roof above us at the moment. So they're insulating, because it's a passive build, we've got 300 millimeters of insulation, of now 32 going in. And the way they layer it is they layer one way and then they cross over. So we try and cover every single potential gap there is in the passive construction. So yeah, it's going really, really well, and the ground team at the back, Arnie and Co, have done a really nice job on the boundary garden wall back here with the reclaimed bricks that we saved from the garages. So we'll take a closer look at that now, and yeah, progress is really good. Let's get it. Yeah. Okay, so despite meticulous planning, phone calls and schedules, sometimes things go wrong on site. And we've had an example of that this morning. So we've had a slight delay starting the project, a new build south side of Hereford. So as a result, what we did a couple of weeks ago was put all the delivery of materials back a couple of weeks. However, got a phone call an hour ago saying blocks are being delivered in the next half an hour. Obviously we rescheduled that, but somewhere along the line that has been missed. So we've sort of had to drop everything and borrow a telehandler, because there's not one on site yet, off the local farmer, and come and do all the unloading. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'll flip the camera around now and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so day 2 on our new traditional build in South Hereford. As you can see behind me, the ground team have been really busy stripping the oversight for the new footprint. Immediately behind me here is going to be the driveway. So this is approximately a couple hundred mil down from the roadside we're coming in on, and they've carried that level through there and stripped the oversight where the footings are going to be. In the next few days, we're going to be setting up the profiles to mark out the strip footings, getting those dug, trench inspection, and then concrete infill probably early next week. So we'll film the process along the way, but we'll take a little closer look now at how the guys are getting on.